joining me tonight is Mama Kay.
Hey, everyone.
And tonight we are talking about Strays, the new comedy film with dogs in it, and Will Ferrell and Jamie Foxx as dogs.
You're welcome.
Yeah, we were, you know how August is. We've said it before. It's not the prime. It's not the fillet cut. It's not the ribeye. It's flat meat. It's chopped steak. It's not the best. But
No.
Strays. It's a Will Ferrell comedy. And did you know anything about it going in?
Yeah, I was the one who said, let's do the dog movie. I didn't even know what the name of it was. So let's do the dog movie with Will Ferrell, because I think Will Ferrell is funny. And I know it's rated R, and the whole time I was thinking it also had Kevin Hart, but apparently it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. And you would be hard-pressed to really tilt it. Jimmy Foxx is doing a very Kevin Hart-y thing, but Strays. Abandoned on the mean city streets of his low-life... I'm going to start that over. Abandoned on the mean city streets by his low-life owner, Doug, a naive but lovable dog named Reggie, falls in love with a fast-talking, foul-mouthed Boston Terrier and his gang of strays. Determined to seek revenge, Reggie and his new canine pals must embark on an epic adventure to blah, 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 blah. Gotta make Doug pay for his dirty deed. Gotta make Doug pay for being a dick. It's got a 55% on Rotten Tomatoes, 74 with the audience, and a 6.5 on IMDb, so very middle of the road. This is actually a very common Will Ferrell score. I looked at Step Brothers, Talladega Nights, to Anchorman.
No.
Most Will Ferrell comedies are in the 50 to 60s with the critics, mid-7s with the audience, and then like a 6.5 on IMDb. So this is actually extremely in line with your average Will Ferrell comedy.
Interesting.
With those numbers. So we will tell you what we thought of it. If you have any interest, go see it in theaters, because we're going to spoil it here now. So Strays, the Boston Terrier is Reggie. It's Will Ferrell's character, and he loves his day. Every day is the best day, and he lives with his owner, Doug, and Doug is the best. Or, not Doug, he's Doug. He lives with his owner, what's his owner's name?
His owner's name is Doug. His name is Reggie.
Oh, that's right. He lives... Okay, all right. Reggie lives with Doug.
Reggie's the dog.
Okay.
Well,
Reggie's
he calls
the
him
dog.
Shit Stain or whatever.
Yeah, but he calls him Shitbag. Yeah, he doesn't really call him
Shitbag.
Reggie. He calls him like Shitbag.
Yeah.
Well, my full name is Asshole Shitbag, but Shitbag for sure.
Exactly.
Will Ferrell shtick. He gets dropped off on the edge of town every day because Will Forte is trying to get rid of him because Will Forte's a drunk asshole. And one day he drops him off so far away that he actually is able to get lost for a little bit. And then that's when Will Ferrell's character meets Bug, Jamie Foxx's character, who's... he's the stray, like he's like the main stray, I guess, and he knows the streets. He shows them the ropes. He's got a couple friends, Maggie and Hunter, Isla Fisher and Randall Park's characters, like a big dog and a long-haired dog, I guess. I don't know if the dog breeds.
Collie.
4 dogs.
And
they go out in the town. They have a nice night out on scraps night where everyone gets drunk and drops their food, and so they get to eat the scraps. And Reggie comes to the realization that Doug was not a good owner, and that he is going to go get his revenge and bite the only thing that Doug ever loved, his dick. He gives it haircuts. He pets it all day long, or whatever he says, and so he's going to go take it away from him. And so the movie is about these 4 dogs. They got to go bite Doug's dick off, and that's what Strays is about. Mama Kay, what'd you think of Strays?
When you put it down to like the narrowest parameters like that, wow, it sounds really terrible, doesn't it? It's pretty terrible. I am apologizing up front for this because I love dogs and I really wanted it to be good, and I also really wanted it to be Kevin Hart. I think that would have made a difference for me, honestly.
You think so?
I have nothing against Jamie Foxx, but I think Kevin Hart is hilarious. So
really? Oh, I didn't know you liked Kevin Hart. I think I don't really love or hate his shtick. I think he's fine,
I just saw him do something with Ice Cube, I know, and Conan O'Brien, where they were going around in people's Uber and Lyft cars and doing things like going to the Cumby or going to, 7-Eleven. And just, oh my God, it was freaking hilarious. I couldn't stop laughing at it. So then I was like really juiced to go. And then the voice came out of that dog Bug. And I was like, God, that just doesn't sound right at all. That sounds not like Kevin Hart. And it sounds a lot more like Jamie Foxx. So that explains it. That's my review.
That's your, okay. Yeah.
No, there's more, obviously. But what did you think?
Yeah, so I saw the previews, like a lot of previews of this movie, and it looked not good. It looked like the best bits were probably in the trailer, and I was like, oh, it's just not working. Like, none of this is working at all. Like, this looks really not okay. And so we weren't.
And I didn't see any previews.
Oh, you didn't see any? Okay, so I saw
no.
a lot. I saw maybe 3 different cuts of trailers, and so what were the jokes that were in there? There was, "Hello, gnome, I am your father." That was burned.
Which was I didn't think was funny either.
Drinking beer out of the trash bags is burned. I knew that he was trying to go bite the dick off. But I didn't know that was the literal plot of the movie. But they do drop that in the trailer. So there's bits in the trailer that are spoiled. Not everything. There's definitely a lot in here that I didn't see. It's not like it's not quite like Barbie, where like literally I saw so much of the best parts of Barbie in the trailer. Whereas this, I saw a lot of bits, and honestly, a lot of them were kind of like some of the crappier bits. All of this to say, I watched the first 90 seconds, and at one point, Will Ferrell, when he's talking about Doug's penis, in the way he's describing it, he said, "There's only one thing he loves is his penis. He gives it haircuts and he pets it all day. Sometimes I wish that I was a penis so he would pet me." And I was sitting there, and I was like,
"Oh no,
Will Ferrell still got it." It's pretty funny still. I was laughing. I liked this movie.
You were?
I liked Strays. I did. I enjoyed this movie.
God. Okay, so you were along with the audience we were with, because I think that they were probably about your age. There weren't a whole lot. There might have been 12 people there, something like that.
Now, Strays is not without tons of problems, and there's a huge chunk of it that drags. I would say from leaving the carnival until... I mean, leaving the carnival to most of the rest of the movie is kind of uneven. There's good bits here and there. The first half hour or so, I laughed out loud at some things, and then in general I was mostly kind of amused. Like it wasn't grating on me like the trailer was for some reason. The trailer was bugging me, and I wasn't liking the personalities. But once we got into the movie, once we got into the relationships with the characters, and it does the thing that a lot of movies have been doing lately, a lot of comedies anyway, which is playing on the heartstrings, trying to be sweet and trying to be like a little. What Champions did this, No Hard Feelings did this recently. Like it's been a common move for big broad comedies, and it worked a little on me. I liked our guys, I liked our crew, and I laughed enough.
It was sad in the beginning. I was a little sad when, Doug finally was successul getting rid of Reggie.
I know. You feel actually sad for Will Ferrell dog.
Yeah, I felt sad for him. And then, to be able to find his crew, that's great. I was a little like, okay, so these two dogs, he meets Bug, and then they go to this dog park, and these 2 other dogs that have owners, and they're at the dog park, all of a sudden join their little crew, and nobody seems to care. Like,
no, the humans in this movie
why one doesn't.
The humans in this movie are pretty much like either devices or
trash.
afterthoughts. Yeah, they're not really. Yeah. They're not like every once in a while there'll be caricatures, like the one owner is vapid because she has the little teacup dog, and then the teacup dogs are vapid, and then the dog catcher gets covered in poop. I do like the Devil in the Sky. Like there are a lot of bits in here. Devil in the Sky is very funny.
So hard at the Devil in the Sky.
This motherfucker! Look at that look on his face. It's the mailman, the UPS man, or the USPS man.
Yeah, the USPS man, and it's just a big billboard of a guy delivering mail, and all the dogs are just like irate, and I thought that was hilarious because I didn't know. I knew what he was talking about every other time when he's like, because the whole thing is like, for him to be able to get back, he has to remember landmarks from when Doug took him out in the car to try to get rid of him. Yeah. And so he's like, there's a big hamster wheel, and so that's a fair.
Yeah. I was trying to figure it out. I didn't know
the pointy triangle. What did he call that? I forgot.
The cone. He said there was like a cone.
The cone, yeah, giant cone. That was a mountain.
Yeah.
But he kept talking about the devil in the sky. I'm like, I don't remember that one. I don't remember what he's talking about.
I thought it was going to be, and I thought, I was trying to guess the whole time. I was like, maybe a liquor store with like a big billboard. Like that's the kind of where my head was going. And then
I was thinking fireworks because dogs don't love fireworks.
But then they burned that bit with the PTSD, which was good. Again, another. I'm like, oh,
that was good. My favorite scene though was when they're in the forest and they're on their way back and they start to eat mushrooms.
Oh yeah.
They all have, their little psycho dreams and they're like, we found this whole big thing of teddy bears. They're coming and then they started like ripping the teddy bears apart. I knew immediately what that was. And, they went into a rabbit den and completely killed a bunch of rabbits.
All of the rabbits.
And then so when they come to, they're all laying down and all of a sudden there's just rabbit grotesque detritus everywhere. It's amazing.
There's just body parts everywhere. Just all right, we're never talking about this. And then it's the running gag the rest of the movie. This is
the dog, and also the dogs are great in this movie. The dog actors, I mean, I think they're great.
No, they embody their personalities well. Like they embody their dogs well. Like they match. Yeah. They feel correct.
They do, and they also, they're. I read a little bit that it's 90% the dogs. It's 10% CGI or whatever, and that's pretty amazing because those dogs had. Yeah, I mean they carried the whole thing with the exception of like we said the terrible people that are around. There's the whole. I don't love poop jokes or whatever. I'm
a lot of poop jokes in here. Definitely scatological heavy.
Yeah, and when the whole thing happens when they're in the
dog catcher,
the dog pokey, that they all poop and that's how they end up getting out of the thing. It's like, okay, that's but this is we just reviewed another movie recently where I was like, why is this movie made? I'm not sure why this movie was made either. I mean, the audience is clearly you. Like I think it's a millennial audience for sure.
Me, but not really me per se. Like I don't
maybe you.
Yeah, but
your age group.
Sure, 18 to 49 dudes, I guess.
Dudes, yeah.
Yeah, I'm assuming.
Although the loudest laughing came from girls, like.
Oh,
girls
really?
laughed the loudest in this movie. Yeah.
We had the girls laughing at our theater. I mean, my theater. So I saw this. It's a Sunday, and it was like a date. It was a matinee, so it wasn't like a nighttime show. So not as heavy a laughter, but enough. And I don't know if it was just women laughing or if it was only women in the theater. Like I think there was one older couple, but for the most part, it was a lot of women at the show. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't know why that is. Maybe dogs. They want to see funny dog humor. That's a woman.
I mean. That's what caught me. Like, oh, it's a dog movie, and they're going to be talking dogs. I'm down, and Will Ferrell. Sounds great. And Kevin Hart. Sounds great.
One of the always entertaining things is when I think of Nicole watching Wolf, because Nicole notoriously hates Will Ferrell movies except for Step Brothers, which makes no sense. But that would be like, oh, I hate Woody Allen movies except for Annie Hall, the most Woody Allen movie. So it's very similar. It would be like, I hate it. But anyway, I like to picture her.
Hated this.
I like to picture her fuming at the just obvious, like, because it is there are parts that are aggressively stupid, like as the Will Ferrell comedies tend to do. But I also took note, like, and it's part of the reason why I like this. The whole thing works is like they use their premise up well. Like the premise is stray dogs are being naughty and saying dirty things and doing crazy stuff, and so in order to do that effectively, you have to have a bunch of written things that are like, oh, what's weird things that we do that is weird to dogs, but like to them is like, and then they try to figure it out. And one of the best bits is the, why do they collect our poop? They collect it because they're going to make chocolate. And like that, the poop bits continue to come through, but it's more than just like poop grows stinky on people. It's that they think it's like, I don't trust it. It's a conspiracy. Right. That's what's funny. And like the same thing with the fireworks is like, it makes it look like PTSD, and they're trying to get to the fence. Oh, go on without me, and it's just like kids trying to light a thing. It doesn't even light off. Like these are the kind of, you're using your dog premise comedy and not just putting random filler crap in there. Like, you're actually tailoring the movie to the premise, and that's honestly more effort than I was expecting based on the trailer. I was expecting complete throwaway garbage. I was expecting a cash grab.
It's effort, but I mean, when people are sitting around writing these kind of movies like this and like Sausage Party and stuff like that,
yeah.
I mean, are they just all totally fucking high and wasted and just being like, okay, but what about this? Like, oh, okay, yeah, we got to figure out how to work that into the movie, kind of thing.
I mean, very experienced of like when I write my own things, like, best ideas. It's what is it? It's the right drunk edit sober. You get together with your friends and you spit.
Yeah.
They call it storyboarding most of the time for TV shows. You storyboard for like a couple weeks, and that's what every writer's favorite part is the part where you get to go in and just like spitball ideas.
Do whatever.
Yeah, that's probably the fun part where they. And I can kind of see it all on the wall there. Like, I remember in the part in the middle where it's a montage and they're walking and they're just kind of musing, like they're doing little like bits here and there. I'm sure those were all like written bits that they couldn't quite finish into full-fledged jokes, like the PTSD explosions, like the poop bag conspiracy theory. And so they just threw them in on the walk to, well, these are still funny enough and amusing enough to pop an eyebrow, but they're not, they're not enough to build
not fleshed out.
They're not enough to build a whole scene on or something like that.
Yeah.
So and I'm watching this and it's just like, oh, they like, I can see they fucking tried, and some of it works, and the voice talents are enough to carry some of the bits. Like Will Ferrell doing his shtick, it still works for me. When Will Ferrell says, sometimes I wish I were a penis, I laughed. Right? I couldn't help it. I can't. The big dopey 6'4", I wish I were a penis. Like, it's too funny still. He still gets me.
That's very Elf. Like, it's not what Elf would say, but it's very Elf-like.
I love Will Ferrell's, like, I know people like his Anchorman, and I love Ricky Bobby and his more arrogant characters, but I prefer when he is, I think he is at his best when he is man-childish, like Step Brothers, and when he's more buffoony because of his almost childlike wonderment. But I think it comes through for this dog. It works for me.
Yeah, that he has a pretty low IQ, like a dog IQ. So
yes, but
that's
fine. This all checks out.
This is all relative.
The choice, so they go, and I read basically that it's kind of hit or miss jokes, and then the third act is horribly violent and over the top. And I was like, I know the dick biting joke in The Thing. I wonder if they're literally gonna like rip his, like, I wonder if they're gonna go hard, and they go moderately hard. Yep. They don't go insane, but they go pretty hard. They go pin him down, rip the dick, light the house on fire. Like, they don't go quite, like, I thought when the thing fell over and the house started fire, I thought we were gonna get like insane levels of grotesquerie, like to the point like you covering your eyes. Like, I thought Will Ferrell was going to go up in flames and like Meltman face, and the dogs would be like, oh crap, this. I thought it was going to be the Anchorman. That escalated quickly. I thought that's where we were going, and they kind of do that where they're like, oh shit, that was way more than I thought it was going to be. But I don't know. It was a fun, satisfying, over the top ending, but I was almost expecting them to be totally insanely crazy with it. Like, I thought they were going to go like horrorly gross with it, but it's fine. It's a fun little whatever.
No, the horror part was the rabbits. That was probably the worst.
Yeah, the rabbits is actually more, and I wish that scene landed better with me. I think it's because I'm over drug use scenes in movie, because even they just always come off as not genuine very well. Like, I'm trying to think. I'm sure there are ones that are done well, and I'll point them out next time we do it, but they're just always the drug scenes in movies are just always so extra, and I'm just like, it makes it seem like you haven't done drugs, writer director, because that's not really exactly how it is. It's just like, it seems like a kid's image.
No, but you've got little tiny dogs in general eating an exorbitant amount of mushrooms.
Yeah, I know. It's fine. It's fine, and then it ends with the crazy rabbit bit. So like, it works enough.
Right.
But I don't know. I think I was like, that's one that I'm surprised didn't bowl me over. Maybe because I saw something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. How did you like the character arc for Bug?
Yeah, it's a little Jesse from with Somebody Love Me, a little bit. Again, like, the heart works well enough for me, actually. Like, I kind of like a little bit of sweetness in my movies, because I like caring about my characters. I don't want just random crap happening. I want a little bit of care. And so, yeah, I don't mind a sob story. And then he gets the wraparound
Yeah.
at the end. I actually took note of that when they drop, because they meet a German Shepherd at one point who's like a cop dog, and then there's like a little girl missing in the woods. And then later on, they use that as a plot device. Like the little girl, Bug finds the little girl, and like, oh, he gets over his little girl fears and his trust issues, and then that also gets
Right.
them on the scent. And so the one girl dog can shine with her power. So like it's these details where I'm like, oh, they wrote the movie. They wrote plot points that come back around later. They wrote jokes that have to do with dogs being dogs. Like they gave a
Right.
fuck. They gave a shit. Like I was expecting Adam Sandler. I was expecting Murder Mystery 2. And this is another point. It's like, this is clearly big dumb comedy, not made on a bunch of money. Everyone's just, doing their funny thing, and this is caring, and that is not caring. So, once again, just have to point it out every time. You can make big dumb comedies for giant swaths of people and still also fucking try. All right, you can fucking put a little bit of effort in.
Yeah, but if you don't have to, you don't have to.
Yeah, if you don't have to,
That's
you wear
the
your
thing.
basketball shorts and you go bang Jennifer Aniston.
That's right.
I get it, but you're fucking fuck you.
right.
Like, come on, fucking try, fucking try.
I love how that's the hill you're gonna die on always. Like that's who cares?
It's easy to point out every time. Here's another example of, look, dumb comedy that you can actually put a little effort into, and it'll make a difference on the page. And I wanted the mention. The scene that made me laugh very hard, the hard penis trying to get the keys.
Oh God, no.
And then it cuts to the shot, because the whole time that scene's happening, I'm sitting there like, it feels really far away. How are they going to actually do this? And then when they actually show him just standing,
How far he got.
And it's just really straight up. Like it's such a good. It's such a good visual gag. I kind of laughed at that. I was really amused by.
Okay,
by
that
the
was
gag.
100% not funny to me at all. Like I did not care about that.
Come on, you can do it. You're so close. It's cutting to the keys, and you're like, oh, you think it's so close, and then it cuts to the wide shot of. The wide shot is just so funny. Oh, I love it. I absolutely loved it. It was so good.
That was a no for me, dog.
Yeah,
literally.
While giant chunks of inactivity, like I'm heaping good praise on it because it's against expectations. I was expecting crap, and I got like slightly above average comedy. So I'm happy with that.
Okay.
Yeah. Did you have anything? Yeah.
I was expecting more. I guess I don't know what I was expecting besides Kevin Hart. So.
You don't know what you're expecting. You're the one who suggested this. I think this, like,
I know.
You see Will Ferrell dog movie. I don't know. This kind of, and
I did. I saw Will Ferrell dog movie, and I'm like, I'm gonna want to laugh at this a lot. And then I realized that a lot of times Will Ferrell for me, like, I didn't love Ricky Bobby the first time I saw it. I did not, and his movies are movies that have to I have to work my way into.
What about? I mean, Step Brothers. You have to love Step Brothers the first time.
I don't know, because sometimes characters, they're so like, I get agitated or embarrassed for them, or I'm not sure what else, but it's like it would easily be the brother in Step Brothers, like the scene when they're sleepwalking and they're being disastrous and putting like couch cushions in the oven and shit like that. That just before I could find that funny, I had to get past being hyper irritated about it. So I don't know if that's how.
I mean, I guess
I don't know if that's how Nicole feels at all about.
It must be, because
these movies.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. I don't have that at all with it. I don't know why it is like it's such a stark difference between Will Ferrell's comedy stylings and Adam Sandler, because you could mostly say that they're both aggressively dumb in like some of their stuff, but I don't know. I think it's because.
Well, Will Ferrell's a smart dumb, though. I can recognize that. I mean, Adam Sandler.
Not always, though. Like I would argue, Step Brothers is like the best dumb. Like I don't think Step Brothers is smart really at all. Like it's like
clever.
It's clever, but the people are
smart.
stupid. Yeah, the writing is clever because of how stupid the people are. I guess I don't know. It's hard to describe, really.
It totally matches the people. Like, this is exactly, it's an over exaggeration of pretty much everybody that's a character, maybe not the parents, but everybody else that, they're all being over characterized, and I don't know. There's just pieces of that that sometimes I have to get past in a Will Ferrell movie, but then once I do, I'm in. Like even
so
old school.
Oh,
yeah,
old school I don't love. I find old school. I think it's dated now. Like I don't think it's that funny anymore. And then, comedies we've already talked about. Comedies have a tough time holding up. Even Talladega Nights, which I love still, in my heart, it doesn't quite hold up great. The only one that really holds up in my opinion is
I feel like it does.
No,
I feel like Talladega Nights.
When's the last time you watched Talladega Nights? It's not like gut busting funny anymore. It's like the dinner scene is still like very well written and so amusing, but like maybe it's just because we've done it to death. But I don't know. I don't laugh at Talladega Nights like I still laugh at Step Brothers like I used to.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Step Brothers is pinnacle. That's just
yeah. Oh, and before we go, like the other thing is like what I said at the beginning, critically, this is very in line with Will Ferrell movies. Like he's 50s to 60s on his Rotten Tomatoes. Like critics are pretty decided. It seems like kind of like a Wes Anderson, where like you kind of know it's going to be a 75% at this point for the most people. It's
right.
It's kind of people are in their camps at this point.
Yeah.
But I think like I didn't see Sherlock Holmes. I know that got obliterated. That got like a 2% on Rotten Tomatoes or something. I didn't see that, but like I know it's a slump. Like a question. Like when was the last time Will Ferrell was in a starring? He was the reason the movie was awesome. It's been a minute. She's had some good.
Well, there's been the ones. What are the Daddy's Home movies with him and Mark Wahlberg?
Yeah, but I would say those are not critically successful. They're barely commercially successful. Like for him, I don't think anyone's gonna go and be like, oh, that's like a part of the Will Ferrell collection,
No, I don't think so either, because it's actually, it's the combination of the characters there that absolutely make it. Not that that's not true in Step Brothers, but...
No, that's another one where, like, I like the Daddy's Home movies, even though everyone talked, like, those are not well-received movies. Daddy's Home 2, but that's a hill I'll die on. Daddy's Home 2 is a good comedy movie. It's a really good comedy movie, but that's for another day. Maybe we'll bring back Host.
Maybe we'll have to do Daddy's Home 2, yeah.
Do you recommend Strays?
Yeah, but again, this is one of those ones that no one I know is going to want to see this, because nobody wants to see an R-rated movie with dogs.
But you do recommend it? You laughed enough?
Yeah, why not? I think I have a feeling that if I watch it again, it's gonna be one of those movies where it's like, okay,
I might like it more.
Like this more next time. Yeah,
Will Ferrell is your like Big Lebowski kind of thing. That's like the most famous thing I can think of. Where like everyone hates Big Lebowski the first time you watch it because you don't fucking know what's happening because it's so confusing.
Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah,
that's my Napoleon Dynamite.
I don't know. I feel like I like Napoleon Dynamite. No, you're right. Actually, I didn't like Napoleon. I grew to like Napoleon Dynamite. You're right. Yeah, maybe there's something to that. It's because it's too. Yeah, I don't know. I recommend this as well.
Quirky.
I recommend this as well. This is a return to form. This is my favorite Will Ferrell thing since Daddy's Home 2. So there you go.
Cool.
So I'll put that on the poster. Best Will Ferrell movie since Daddy's Home 2. I'm sure that'll turn out nobody.
Right.
So there you go. 2 recommends for Strays, and we're a little shallow on time here, so I thought we'd extend our segment and continue to talk about something else. And that is...
Oh, what are we doing?
The trailers that came out before this movie. I know you are a trailer fan. I know that
I love them.
Our co-host, or at least Nicole, despises trailers. She wants us to go 25 minutes after the movie has started because she knows the trailers are still playing and she does not want to be in those seats as long or as short as possible.
Quite possibly 7 out of 10 why I go to the movies.
I am a huge trailer. Like, I know they spoil things and I know you get burned on stuff, but... they're just so well made. They're like little mini movies of the movies I want to see. I want to see trailers.
Yeah.
So I watched the 6 trailers before this went up, before they did the double Regal. They have their little plug, like, oh, buy Regal stuff. I'm like, we're already here. We already bought all this stuff. Buy concessions. We're in the movie's about to start, like, right now.
Why are you guys? To start.
I never said you have a concession ad in the last 30 seconds before the thing. Like, we just had 20 minutes of trailers. It's just a weird spot to put an ad. Anyway, the first movie that was on. So I'm gonna go through. Here we go. The six movies that I saw trailers for. My initial takes, and then we can come back around in a couple months to a year to whenever these movies come out and see if I was on the ball. See if maybe you saw some of these. You can chime in if you haven't. We'll just see what the tape. We'll see what the tape says. So the first movie I saw a trailer for was called Dix the Musical, and I gotta say it looked pretty abysmal. I do not know. It looks like Book of Mormon, but like. I don't like it looks like Book of Mormon where it's like a musical, but like they say fucking shit and dicks and penises and go crazy and stuff. And there's a bunch of like weirdo people in it. Megan Thee Stallions, like they're like Nathan Lane. So they got theater guy in there. It's very strange.
Wow.
I don't know if you saw the trailer for this, but it looked like a dumpster fire.
No.
I think Sacha Baron Cohen's name might have been in there.
Oh, well, this makes sense now.
So Dix the musical. Keep your eyes out to not see it. I'm
putting
myself on the record now. This will be abysmal and horrible and not good. So that's my opening stance for that one. Up next, it looks like we saw the Nun II or the Nun again or more nuns. Something with the Conjuring.
What?
You know the Conjuring universe, okay? Patrick Wilson, Vera Farmiga, and they got a haunted house all the time.
Yeah, kind of.
There's nuns.
I know there's good
dolls.
performances in it. Yeah, forget that.
Yeah, well, it looks like they're making the Nun II, which is part of the Conjuring universe. And the only thing that it looks like with those movies, so if you like those, you got another one coming. And if you don't, it's the same thing. But someone, when the trailer ended after and then a couple of jump scares, and then the Nun II comes up on the thing. And I just heard someone say, oh, yeah, like the Conjuring. Like, yeah, that's good, yeah. And then that was it.
Keanu Reeves was at the theater.
This is a woman. This is a. I know I'm saying it like Keanu Reeves, but yeah, that was the woman's cadence and how she described it. She's like, "Oh yeah, Nun, Conjuring. I like that. Yeah." And then the next trailer started, and I'm like, "Oh my god!" This is before Stray started. I'm like, I don't know. My brain is starting to lose cells.
You're worried about your audience.
I do. I worry. I worry about the state of people's brains in the world when I hear words like that come out of their faces after they watch things that I watch, and I'm like. Ugh, I just don't know how your thoughts went there. Number 3, the third movie I saw. This pulled things around. It's a movie called Bottoms, I think, and it's written by Shiva Baby. What's her name? You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Rachel Sennett. And she is also in Bodies, 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 which came out, I think, last year, maybe 2 years ago. That's like a Gen Z horror comedy. And it looks really, really funny. It's basically Girl Fight Club. And Marshawn Lynch is like one of the teachers. And it looks very strange, but it looks unhinged.
Sponsored by Skittles.
It looks unhinged and like kind of like it feels like fresh humor. It kind of gives me a Booksmart vibe. So I'm looking forward to that. Bottoms. So keep an eye out for that one. I think that one's gonna be good and something I'm gonna like. Then there was Expendables 4, which started with a sexy Jason Statham fight. He's fighting this woman, and they're like, "Oh, I haven't seen you in so long." And then they're like smacking each other with belts, and it's like intense. Like, I always like to make an entrance. And they're playing like sexy music with Jason Statham, and then you hear a knock on the door, and it's Sly Stallone, and I'm like, this is the worst porno I have ever seen in my life, with fucking sexy Jason Statham scene, and then Sly Stallone knocks on the door, and then he says something unintelligible for 45 seconds, and then it's getting bad. I think he's got like stroke mouth. Like it's more than just like you gotta get hit and keep
it's
going.
More than Rocky Mumble.
It's more than Rocky Mumble. It's like neurological disease mumble. But Expendables 4. Have you seen? You've had to have seen those. I've never seen a single one of those.
No. I know that they've been on when I've been in the room before, but as for having seen one, no, I have not. Are there 4 of them, for Christ's sake? That's a lot.
That's what I was saying. This is Expendables 4, and when they started it was sexy Jason Statham fight with a woman. So I thought it was gonna be like one of those like trashy thriller like spy movies where like a Mr. and Mrs. Smith, but like serious, but like you know what I'm talking about, like romance novel. And then Sly Stallone shows up at the door. Got a job for you. We got to get you choose this life. You gotta do.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So no Expendables 4. So we're 1 for 4 of trailers that I think look moderately entertaining. Then trailer number 5 was for Five Nights at Freddy's. Which do you know what this is?
I do know what that is, only because of someone that I know that worked with K through 2 kids, and I don't know why they would be watching this, but yes.
This checks out. So Five Nights at Freddy's is it's a property that they've been trying to make a movie for a long time. It's based on a video game that's like an indie video game, and it's a horror video game where it's got a lot of lore. You go into what is it? Like a Chuck E. Cheese kind of place called Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, and the game, you go there for 5 nights and you have to clean it and like maintain it, and the animatronics come to life and attack you at night, and that's like the game.
Of course they do.
You gotta survive. So the game has a bunch of
scary Toy Story.
Yeah, I don't know. Chuck E. Cheese animatronics come to life. You can see how that would be scary. And they have other movies like this, like Willy's Wonderland came out recently, which is a Nick Cage movie where he fights animatronics, like it's straight ripoff. All this being said, like I never played the games, but the lore is very interesting. I've watched like I haven't played the games, but I've watched like videos of people explaining the lore of Five Nights at Freddy's, and that's much more interesting.
No,
it's very.
I don't want to know if those people are out there doing that. And
this is something I don't think. I'm going to take a quick diatribe off the diatribe of the episode that we finished 15 minutes ago. I think there's something with like Nicole said earlier in an episode that she just kind of watches YouTube all day. Younger people just kind of like watching YouTube and like regular people doing stuff and like video game stuff. Like they kind of, there's something about just like watching people do mundane things, and everyone has their own channel and everyone has their own following, and you find your own little niche communities all over the place. There's something more appealing, I think, to that to Millennial and Gen Z that I think you must struggle to connect with your generation.
I understand the concept, and I think that there are pieces that I watched this woman who's been writing a book for 937 days.
Okay.
So that's mine.
That's your corner. That's your little niche community.
Yes, exactly. So that's what's interesting to me. And another woman who fishes weird things out of a river.
Okay. I would say like these are the kind of like things where I'm thinking like Five Nights at Freddy's is one of those things that like it never would have gotten a following like that in old school world, and in new school world where like you can create internet fandoms and like have little niche corners that grow. And I personally, this is a diatribe to say that Five Nights at Freddy's is very interesting to me in a academic sense that way, and not so much as like I don't like playing video games that much anymore. I guess they just it's not really my bag, but the story very interesting. The movie itself looks kind of bland. I don't know. I think it might not work. I think it's going to be kind of underwhelming for fans. And the last one, new Exorcist movie, which looks like it's.
Oh, I did see that.
It looks tethered to the original. Like I know they've made a million Exorcist crappy sequels since. They've done Exorcism of blankety blank and blankety blank. I know Jess was saying, wasn't Exorcism of Emily Rose the original? I'm like, that's a very Jess thing to say.
Yeah, we were talking about that on the other episode, on the other podcast.
Yeah, that's for someone who's only been alive for 30 years and didn't know there was a planet before they were alive would say something like that. No, this looks tethered to the original. They have the same musical stings. I don't care for the original. I don't like exorcism movies as a genre of horror. I don't find demons compelling because they're kind of limited. Like, isn't the story always, I'm a demon and I hate God and my cross is upside down and I say horrible things and I take you over, and then you gotta throw holy water at it and yell at it and be like, no, God. And like, isn't that the whole movie every time? I just don't know what else you do with Exorcist movies. It just feels like there's nothing to do. But I don't know.
Yeah, but Exorcist was like, you have to realize it was like the doorway to horror. Like, most of the horror
mainstream
stuff before
horror.
That, yeah, most of the stuff before that was not horror, and a lot of it was super campy. And when The Exorcist came out, and then when Stephen King's books were starting to be made into movies, in the mid-70s, I'm guessing, late 70s maybe, this became a thing. And so it was terrifying. Like, those kind of things were terrifying. And I was a young girl at the time. I wasn't an adult. So I'm terribly scared of The Exorcist and like Audrey Rose and all of these other, Christine the Car, all of those things. I think probably because it was the first time, like the first foray into that kind of stuff. Up until that, it was like, really more campy kind of things. So, but you're right. This is a spin-off of the original, I think, and because there are, if you're looking at it, I think there's even a scene like with Linda Blair from when.
Yeah, no, they have Ellen. They have Ellen Burstyn in it. I'm like, that's what this
Ellen Burstyn's in it. Yeah,
who's big? I think it's David Gordon Green making it. I want to let me say something while I check that because I want to make sure I have the right.
I don't know who that is. So
you know who David Gordon Green is? Yeah, David Gordon Green movie. Movies. So, I think it's going to be something with moderate prestige. Like, for those who don't know, he's made the Halloween movies, the Halloween trilogy. So, and Pineapple Express for what it's worth. But yeah, I think it's just like it's got some original people. It looks like something that's actually like trying to be faithful to the original. So I think, as far as the trailers I saw, I think that's actually the second best movie trailer that I saw. Everything else looked pretty abysmal. So keep an eye out for Bottoms, and if you like horror, there's going to be a new Exorcist, and everything else I said, I'm making my bets now that they suck. So we'll see how I do in the future. And
I think you've got a pretty easy task there.
Yeah, so maybe every month or so, when we have some of these lighter episodes, we'll tag on a trailer talk at the end, and you can hear. You can hear some predictions, because I'm telling you, Bottoms, keep an eye out. That's what I say. Everything else, I think, is kind of junk.
This is like our trailers about the trailers.
Yeah, so there it is. All right, if you have things to recommend to us, Films with the Women in My Life on Facebook. Reach out to me on Instagram. I'm Brennan_podhost. And you can email the show, filmswiththewomen@gmail.com. We're also on YouTube, and you can follow, subscribe, click the bells, all the fucking buttons. I don't have to tell you to do that. You're gonna do it whether whether I say it or not. You're gonna do it. The same likelihood, but whatever
you want.
Yeah, just fucking. Yeah. If you can click as many of the buttons that help us as possible, whatever you can get to in your couple of seconds. That's fine. All right, thank you for being on Strays and some trailer talk, Mama K.
Woof woof. You're welcome.
Until next time, this is Brennan signing off, saying thanks for listening and enjoy your movies.
Thanks for listening to Films with the Women in My Life. If you enjoyed being a listener in our life, please rate and subscribe on Apple Podcasts or on your favorite podcast app. Keep up with the latest from the show on Instagram at Brennan_podhost, on Facebook at Films with the Women in My Life, and on Twitter at FilmsWomenPod. Finally, you can email the show with questions and suggestions at filmswiththewomen@gmail.com. Original music for the show was created by Ian Burke and Chris Iwanek. Original artwork created by Nicole D'Alessio. This show is produced by Brennan Snyder. Thank you again for listening, and enjoy your movies.